right, board gaming enthusiasts, the vlog question for today, the eternal board gaming question. This title, you're looking to acquire it. Will it be something that you regularly play, or will it sit there on your gaming shelf taunting you for whatever reason, never making it to the table? Currently, what are you watching? What are you thinking about? Two titles that I'm acquiring and interested in. The first is Hero Quest. Can we ever have more Hero Quest? The simplicity of Hero Quest is the duality of its appeal. It's a very, very easy system. But at the same time, not only does it open things up for house rules, but also just the fan content based on longevity of the system and also the simplicity. It's been around forever. Yesterday, I was talking about replayability and posted that to the channel. You want to talk about replayability. Hero Quest, there are so many quests that you could never repeat them and probably play for years and years and years just on the fan content alone. And it's solid fan content. A couple of Facebook groups that I'm honored to be a member of for Hero Quest, the stuff that they're putting out is beyond professional in terms of play testing, in terms of ingenuity, and in terms of just like good old-fashioned questing. So it's really interesting to see the game from that perspective. The other thing that interests me about Hero Quest, and I'm not going to turn this into a Hero Quest vlog, but I think it's worth framing, Zombicide Black Plague. This is a game that I regularly bring to the gaming club when it's kind of like an open game night, meaning I'll set it up and we'll see. We'll get 6, 8, 10 players. And with Zombicide Black Plague and Zombicide Invader 2, the premise of the game is really easy to understand. You're a survivor and there's zombies running around, and the mechanics are pretty easy. It works. It's a great game that someone with no previous board gaming experience can sit down, plug in, play, and enjoy. And for me, board games are very much about a social experience in addition to solo board gaming. Hero Quest does that from an RPG perspective. Anyone can sit down, you can play it, you can explore it. It just works. Now, Hasbro has been re-releasing the X-Packs. They've created some content that's new in the terms of character packs. And as of now, Hero Quest is available. I originally jumped on the reissue with the Pulse. I think that was about a year ago or a year and a half ago. It wasn't 2 years ago. Because I have a regular copy of Hero Quest, but I wanted to get another copy to be able to play and not have to worry about replacing it, which is almost an impossibility. So the chance for a new copy to be out in the wild, that started the acquisition cycle. Now that I'm in it, as they release new packs, I'm going to pick them up. I'm not even there yet with exploring some of the other packs, but my fear, given just the life cycle of board games, and certainly Hasbro, at some point, I assume they keep on releasing because they own the rights to it, and it's just a reprint, but I assume that they're making money off of it. At some point, when that market is saturated or they feel they've gotten enough Hero Quest, they're going to flip that switch off. I mean, that's my fear. Not quite a Games Workshop where it's like, oh, Blackstone Fortress, yeah, we're going to support this. This is going to be a new line of games. We love it. Don't worry. And then just like 2 years later, they dump it and there's no support. I mean, GW is notorious for releasing something and never supporting it. Hasbro, I could see doing that at some point with Hero Quest. And then at that point, yes, there'll be enough copies out in the wild, but now we're chasing kind of prices and going after it. So normally I think what I would do is I would kind of chill on the Hero Quest for a while, if it was any other title, and look to play and acquire some other stuff, but I feel like I have to see it out as they release it. The other title that I have an eye on, and it's one of those things, right? The date is getting closer and closer, but it can't get here soon enough. And I missed the Kickstarter, but that's okay. I was aware of it, but I didn't go in based on the Kickstarter content. It was a copy that I'm excited for retail, and some of the quests that are retail, I think that'll be more than enough given the base of the game. Seventh Citadel. Now, I posted up Seventh Continent. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. It's kind of a choose-your-own adventure, exploration type game where you return to this island, the seventh continent, and you're under a curse. And the quests are called curses, where you have to solve these puzzles. And there's crafting, and there's hand management, and there's exploration. But what's interesting about the game is the cards build the island. And on the cards, not only are there different areas to explore, but there's different clues and hidden aspects of the game. So there are so many ways to discover it and play it, and so many ways that the island interconnects, where you can be exploring and be caught in this loop and not aware of it. You can go in one direction and just find yourself in a dead end but not be aware of it. There are multiple paths. It's an interesting exploration, resource management, choose your own adventure game. And to have that in a card format that builds out as you go along, the island builds out, it's kind of a neat title. And I've been playing my way through Seventh Continent. It's definitely a keeper. It has a couple of quirks, admittedly. The primary thing is setting up the island as you go out and the cards build. In the box, the cards are all arranged by numeric order. And you pull them out and you build them as you go. Permadeath in the game. If you die, the island resets. You have to do it completely again. So there is an element of like you build it out. If you die, now you're like, wait, I got to put all this back and reshuffle and restart. I mean, you could house rule it, and people do, where you kind of go back to a few locations, or maybe you have 3 lives, or you reshuffle your hand. Lots of house rules. I always play rules as written, but that's not really a criticism. It's a nature of the dynamic of the game. And of course, replayability is all the different curses, all the different characters. I have Seventh Continent retail. The Kickstarter has so much more. But Citadel interested me because not only of the setting and the refinement of the rules, and again, nothing's wrong with Continent at all, but it's taking it in a direction of NPC interaction. It's taking it in a direction of world building, kind of, do I say a legacy type game? So from that perspective, I'm really interested in that title. And I think it's around January, February, early 2023 that it's getting ready to drop. I think the Kickstarter and then retail will follow. Can't get here soon enough. You know, I've got a good place ready for it, and I'm excited for it. But those are the titles that I'm looking forward to. Those are the titles that I'm asking that question, will they have a place in my collection? And Hero Quest, absolutely. Can never have too much Hero Quest. Make my way through it with my friends. There's a couple of solo missions on it. I write a couple of quests just for the sake of writing them. And then the chance to build on the mechanics and see the evolution of Seventh Continent into Seventh Citadel, that's kind of interesting. On a side note, I wonder, would you get, I'm trying to think of a name for it, Seventh something in space? Would there be a sci-fi type version, like Fritz, that's called Zia? Well, yeah, in a way, but that would be an interesting format where the Seventh something series, we've got kind of modern, although Continent is maybe 100 years past, but then we've got the sci-fi fantasy. Would we have the sci-fi future? I wonder if they would put out another title. I guess we'll have to see how Citadel does. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. What titles are you looking to acquire? What titles do you have your eyes on? What upcoming Kickstarters are you so hopeful for? And again, that eternal question, if you acquire said title, will it be something that you regularly play? Or will it sit there on your shelf taunting you just for whatever reason, never making it to the table?